Imagine if you could trust yourself enough to know within just a matter of a couple minutes whether a person, place, or thing was actually good for you. Hi there, I'm Carol Serby. I'm with the Amanika Healing Institute. We are Northern British Columbia's premier institute for releasing trauma and disease triggered by repressed emotions. So thank you so much for joining us today, where we're talking about how our body speaks to us and creating a whole awareness of self. We're learning to follow our map here and revolutionizing the way our body speaks to us, and it always does. So today we're talking about developing trust. Now, I think you might be thinking on how we can develop trust with another person. But here's the thing, is you can't have trust with another person unless you have trust with yourself. Let's think about that. If you can't trust yourself, how can you trust somebody else? So let's just explore trust, okay? So the first thing about being able to trust yourself and about being able to know whether a person, place, or thing is good for you is you have to start to recognize behavior patterns, okay? Yours in particular, other people's secondary. Now, what'll happen is you'll get a lot of chaos, a lot of shitstorm stuff happening around things that are vying for your attention, around behavior patterns that you no longer need, you no longer have to be in, and is not in the highest and best interest of what you're going out trying to create, okay? So you have those experiences where you're trying to do something bigger, you're trying to do something newer. Entrepreneurs, you feel this all the time, right? You're trying to stretch yourself, you're trying to do something new, and then somebody or something reaches out and grabs you and pulls you back in, and before you know it, you're stuck in that mud puddle wrestling with this issue yet again, right? Right. So what I want you to do is I want you to recognize those patterns of behavior. So not necessarily the actions, but look deeper. Look absolutely deeper into what is the underlying flow of what's happening in these actions, okay? And once you start to not necessarily look at all the surface stuff, the name calling, whatever's going on up there, but the underground motivations. Now you're being shown the behavior, okay? Behavior that up until this point you've accepted, you've dealt with, you've complied with, right? But it's not feeling good anymore. Now, I want you to take that same thought process and I want you to apply it to another area of your life where there might be a shitstorm happening as well. And again, we're not looking at the surface stuff. We're not looking at, oh, so-and-so called so-and-so such and such, and not that, okay? The underlying motivations of what's going on, okay? Take that information that you've learned and look at the other situations in your life and see if it applies, okay? See if it applies. So start to recognize the undercurrents of the behavior that you're witnessing from other people. Because, you know, on the woo-woo side of what I do, on the energy side of what I do, everybody reflects to us what we are either challenged with or looking to release. Okay, so that's what we're looking for, is what is the common theme at this moment in time within all of the conflicts that I'm experiencing. And they could be little ones, they could be big ones, but just notice the stuff that's coming up for you. Okay? And once you recognize a pattern, maybe someone's always blaming you for something. But when you actually look at it, maybe the actions underneath was they were actually the ones that created the snowball, but they're projecting it onto you. And up until now, you have been ready to take it. You have been happy to take it. And now you're like, you know what? I really didn't have anything to do with that. But the behavior is that person keeps on drawing you in. And in the past, you've always accepted it, and now you're not. So you don't need to do anything with this. You just need to notice it. Okay? Just notice it. The next thing you need to do is once you start to recognize behavior patterns that you're being drawn into, and the one thing I didn't talk about is, of course, when you're being drawn into something, a quagmire of some sort, you always had a behavior pattern too, right? Accepted it, complied with it, whatever. And now your behavior pattern is starting to change. And what I want you to do, so you're noticing how people are trying to take you out, but you're also noticing how you took yourself out. And what I want you to do is when you notice people are trying to take you out, try and do something different and see if it works. See if it shuts them up, makes them go away, whatever, gets them immediately out of your vicinity, okay? Try and change your behavior and notice, keyword, notice what's going on, okay? Number 2, how do you feel in these behavior patterns? Now, I promise you that what you're going to start to notice is as you start to recognize these patterns, you're going to notice how you're feeling first, okay? So you need to start to notice when you're feeling, say what? Or when you're feeling confused, or when you're feeling dished, or when you're feeling upset, or when you're feeling whatever. And again, it's not that you have to do a lot with it, but you just have to notice it. Just have to recognize it. It's like, oh, I'm feeling this tug from, whoever always tries to undermine you. And I can sense that there's another wave coming, right? So now you're starting to notice it before it actually happens. Okay? Some people might call this intuition. Again, it's an awareness of self. It's your proprioceptive nervous system starting to recognize the vibrations are starting to change, starting to shift to something that you don't like. Okay? So what happens is when you start to notice the feelings, notice your feelings, and you can apply them to a certain person, place, or thing, you're now in a position where you can head whatever shitstorm's coming to you, you can now head it off in the pass, okay? And the third thing that we need to know about developing trust is we need to start to recognize who, what, and where undermines us. But more importantly, what do you do that undermines yourself? Where are your boundary issues? Where are you not standing up for what you need, for what you want? And where are you allowing these people to take you out? Okay, so this whole exercise, this whole management of self-awareness, it's about you. It really is about you. And what you need is, in me asking you to start to recognize these, I'm not asking you to do more, okay? I'm not asking you to be more. What I'm actually asking you to do is to do less. To give yourself some time, and it could be 10 minutes a day, to give yourself some space. Maybe you go for a walk. Maybe you do it in your car. Maybe before you leave your office for the day, you sit in your car for 5 minutes and just think and feel and notice. Okay, just think and feel and notice. Because it really is about you. It's about you doing less so that you can now become more reactive, more aware of what is coming at you so that you can duck and weave, basically. You know that old adage, when somebody throws a baseball at you, if you stand still and you get hit by the ball, it's your own damn fault. Same thing, right? Somebody tries to throw something at you. If you're not present enough to be able to weave and bop and duck out of this ball's way, then it's your own damn fault, right? So I'm asking you to take time for you, to do less for you, so that you can start to recognize these patterns, so that you can start to notice how you feel when these patterns actually kick in. And you can notice those people that are undermining you. And you give yourself the time and the space to be able to duck and weave from the balls of shitstorm that they throw at you. So some people like to meditate. So with meditation, there's definitely a couple of different ways you can do it. And we're going to talk about that next week. So meditation, and I personally don't do a traditional form of meditation, so we'll talk about that next week. So make sure Thursday morning, 9 o'clock next week, and we'll talk about some different aspects of meditation. So what I'd like to do with you now is I would like to show you an exercise on how you can immediately calm yourself down when you're faced with any one of these people that are trying to undermine you or underscore you or blame you or whatever's going on. So this is one that I learned from Donna Eden. So it is an energy medicine exercise. And what we do is we are addressing the triple warmer meridian here. Triple warmer is your fight or flight meridian. So it's pretty simple. So anytime that you're feeling an elevated level of anxiety or negative excitement, not positive excitement looking forward to something, but excitement as in, oh my God, if this happens, I'm just going to have to run away. Okay, this is where you use it. So it's pretty simple. I'd like you to take your actual fingertips, put them in the corner of your eyes, and just hold it like that for a moment and just breathe. Okay, and then I'd like you to pull. Girls, you don't need to mess your makeup up, okay? Pull over your eyes and hold at your temples, okay? I like to do like a flower with my fingers. Hold at your temples just for a moment and breathe. You're probably starting to notice things are calming already. And then I'd like you to take your fingertips and while touching your scalp, bring it over your ears and down where your jaw meets your neck, meets the bottom of your ears, and just hold. Okay? And then take your fingers halfway down your neck, halfway down, and then reach behind you, grab your shoulders, and pull on those shoulder muscles. Pull, 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 pull. And then just drop your hands. And breathe. Okay, so that one calms your triple warmer meridian. So if you're looking for more energy healing techniques, inspiration, or how your body is speaking to you, I suggest that you go over to my website, amanikahealing.ca, and sign up for our monthly digest newsletter. You'll get a recap of everything that's going on and an overview of the basic energy for the month. And if you would like an opportunity to work with me, again, you can go to amanikahealing.ca and sign up for my free 30-minute clarity call where we'll just sit down and we'll hash out what's going on. We'll hash out some of these patterns. We'll look at where they initially came from. And if I feel as though I can be of assistance to you, I'll make you an offer for us to work together. And while we're chatting, of course, I'll offer any ideas and any support, and I'll send you in any direction of any free support that I know of. So by all means, there's lots and lots and lots there for you. We also offer monthly lectures and workshops, and all these events can be found on omnikahealing.ca or on our Facebook page. We have a fairly large group there now, and it's free to join, and it's an open group, and you can participate daily, weekly, or whatever feels good for you. So our purpose here is to support you in your courage, support you in your clarity, and your listening intuitively to the mastery that's already in your body, so you can live full throttle and give others permission to do the same. So thank you so much for joining me here today, and I'll see you next week. Okay, bye-bye.